Honorable MKB Molefe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, in the MTBPS, you had committed yourself to spending available financial resources in a responsible manner and also to curb unnecessary government spending where possible. How does your government justify having the most bloated cabinet since the dawn of democracy, with ministers even in areas that could easily be dealt with without creating blue lights ministerial positions and costing the taxpayer hundreds of millions of such bloated ministerial luxuries? Can your government consider drastically reducing the size of the cabinet and totally removing the ceremonial deputy ministerial positions to help reduce government spending on salaries? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Of course, before the election, there was a plan to reduce the number of departments. And part of that also included restructuring some of the public entities. That program of reducing some of the public entities is still in place. But the necessity of a government of national unity requires that there's an accommodation of some of the critical players in the formation of the government of national unity. And therefore, that necessitated, that's above my payroll, but necessitated the increasing the number of cabinet posts. But the strategic thrust of reorganizing government remains on course.
Honorable TKS Lehlape.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Just as a follow-up to what has been asked, are there any plans to right-sizing of the public sector by compelling the different ministers to come up with proper human resource plans that are appropriate for the duties of the departments? Because we have a bloated civil service with redundant posts. And unless there's a requirement for right-sizing and proper plans to be submitted, we will never be able to meet our budgets.
Honorable Minister.
Let me start by refuting the notion that we've got a bloated civil service. There's no evidence to suggest that. A study done by the OECD has revealed a different sort of thing. Let me try what does it says. That study says, in terms of payment, how much we pay per individual, we are comparatively high. In other words, our unit costs are high. But in terms of per capita, number of public service per the population were far behind other countries. What that means, if you look at the per capita numbers, we don't have a bloated civil service. Let me put that, debunk that first. Then say, what is our problem? Our problem is that we've got a number of people elsewhere than where we need people. Let me just give an indication. In the public entities which are employed by government, public entities, we employ about 160,000 people in those public entities which earn money from the fiscus. Whereas if we were to reorganize those people and put into the frontline services, the picture would look different. So I guess that's the point what I'm trying to say. We've got to reorganize the personnel that we have to focus on reorganize them into the frontline services than into a number of these public entities. That's a matter which, together with the unions, we are agreeable with. The unions calls that agentification. So in a sense, we are reorganizing the public services in order to put more people on the frontline services than on anything else.
Thank you very much, Minister. We now move to question 650, which has been asked by Honorable L.S. Makubela to the Minister of Finance. The question is about the steps the National Treasury will take regarding discriminatory practices in the banking system. Honorable Minister.
it has been 20 years since the establishment of the Financial Sector Council, renamed as the Financial Sector Transformation Council in September 2018. Through this platform, we've made a clear declaration that transformation is not a future event, it is a present-day activity. Over the past 20 years, government has continued to engage with other constituencies to accelerate transformation in the financial sector. We recognize the important role played by the financial sector in building an inclusive and sustainable economy that provides employment and business opportunities to all South Africans. We are all so committed to supporting small, medium, and micro enterprises, given their important role in employment creation and contribution towards sustainable economic growth and development. Although progress has been slow in financial sector transformation, the latest State of Transformation annual report by the Council reveals meaningful movements towards achieving the targets. South Africa's financial service sector is sophisticated and well regulated. However, any form of discriminatory practice, not only in the banking system, should be addressed swiftly and eradicated. Addressing such practices fall within the ambit of the financial sector regulators that are empowered in terms of the Financial Service Sector Regulation Act. National Treasury has, through the reform of the financial sector towards Twin Peaks model of financial system regulation in South Africa, empowered the regulators to improve the customer outcomes by placing equal and dedicated focus on managing risk in the financial sector, with a core focus on financial stability, prudential and market conduct regulation. This model is designed to leverage the benefits of an integrated regulatory approach and emphasizes regulatory consistencies, jurisdictional clarity, and information efficiency, while effectively managing the inherent conflicts between prudential audit and customer protection. In practice, in previous engagements between National Treasury, Ombuds Council, and the National Financial Ombuds on complaints received from consumers, they indicate that their investigation found that affordability was usually the reason for refusal on the applications for loans, and they have not found it to be related to any discriminatory practices by the banks or lending institutions. Thank you.
Thank